Hello friends. Now we are going to start chapter 1 Introduction to Ancient History for Civil Service Examination and State PCS also. Now look, Ancient History. Change the color in green way. Okay. First chapter is Introduction to Ancient History, the story of culture and civilization. The culture, what is culture? The way of life, distinct object, geography, and time period. We identify what people eat, wear, their housing and profession and belief system through this trace. Civilization, an advanced stage of the culture marked by the urbanization, social hierarchy, and systematic growth. Human evolution and migration in India. First one is Homo erectus, the first migrants arrival 2 billion to 1.5 billion years ago. The key traits: first to leave Africa, nomadic hunting using actually stone tools, hand axe. की साइट देखते हैं द हथनौर नर्मदा वैली डिस्कवर्ड बाय द नर्मदा मैन द ओल्डेस्ट ह्यूमन फॉसिल इन इंडिया. Second one is contemporary cousins, the others, the species Neanderthal, European, West Asia, and Dinosaurus, East/Central Asia. Context है, while they lived in Eurasia during the same era, they were not the primarily ancestor of Indians. Through the minor interbreeding occurred as Homo sapiens moved through the territory. Third one is Homo sapiens, our direct ancestors. Evolution 300,000 years ago in Africa. Arrival in India 70,000 to 50,000 years ago via the coastal route. The key sites: Jwalpuram, Andhra Pradesh. Tool found above the below the volcanic ash, Toba eruption. Dhaba, Madhya Pradesh. Evidence of the continuous human occupation through the environmental shifts. Legacy है, this group forms the vessel genetic ancestors for nearly all the modern Indian population. 10,000 years ago, Holocene climate change. The warm climate led to the formation of the grasslands, promoting Homo sapiens to the begin the domesticating animals, dogs, sheep, goat. 8,000 years ago, Neolithic evolution. First agriculture began. Suleiman and Cathar Hills, wheat/barley, and north of the Vindhyas, rice. 4,700 years ago, first sight, the sophisticated urban life began. In the Indus Valley, Harappan civilization. 2,500 years, sites along the Ganga Valley included Magad. 3,000 to 2,500 years ago, names and identity. 3,000 years ago, the term the Bharta appears in the Vedas for the tribe in the northeast. 2,500 years ago, the Iranian and the Greeks arrived. The Greeks called the land east of the Indus India, while the Iranian referred to it as a Indos. The Homo erectus फर्स्ट माइग्रेंट्स बोलते हैं. हथनौर इनका साइट है, नर्मदा वैली एंड द नर्मदा मैन भी बोलते हैं। कंटेम्प्रोरी कजन इनके हैं, द नियंदरथैल यूरेशियन है, डायनासोरस सेंट्रल प्लस ईस्ट एशिया, होमोसेपियंस है, आवर डायरेक्ट एंसिस्टर यही है, द इलवामपुरम आंध्र प्रदेश में साइट है, डोबा मध्य प्रदेश में साइट है, जो ओडी तमिलनाडु में यूज होता है, उसका तमिल लैंग्वेज है ये, ठीक है। सेकेंड वन इज देखते हैं, इवोल्यूशन फ्रॉम प्रीमेट्स। द प्रीमेट्स हायरार्की फॉलो चार्ट्स द प्रीमेट्स ऑर्डर, द की ट्रेड्स लार्ज ब्रेन, grasping hand and forward facing eyes. The higher primates, the branches of monkey usually have a tail. The branches apes not tails large brain. Branches A monkey usually have a tails. Branches B apes no tails large brain. The one न्यू वर्ल्ड मंकी क्या है, लोकेशन सेंट्रल साउथ अफ्रीका एंड हैबिटेट क्या है, ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट। लेसर एप्स जो हैं एग्जाम्पल गिब्बॉन, सेरांगेज एंड द लोकेशन साउथ ईस्ट एशिया है, हैबिटेट हाई रेन फॉरेस्ट कैनोपी है। सेकेंड वन इज मंकी ब्रांच का ओल्ड मंकी, लोकेशन अफ्रीका एंड एशिया, हैबिटेट क्या है, फॉरेस्ट सवाना एंड माउंटेन। ब्रांच बी एप्स का सेकेंड ग्रेट एप्स, द हाईएस्ट एंड इंटेलिजेंस एंड सोशल कंप्लेंट। द ग्रेट एप्स break down the orangutan, the Sumatra and the Borneo एशिया, हैबिटेट डेंस रेन फॉरेस्ट। ओरेंगोटूर लोकेशन क्या है, सुमात्रा एंड द बर्मीज एंड द डेंस रेन फॉरेस्ट। गोरिल्ला सेंट्रल अफ्रीका, हैबिटेट्स चाइनीज एंड द बोनोबूज, द ट्रॉपिकल अफ्रीका एंड कांगो बेसिन। द इंटेलिजेंस ट्रेंड की हाईलाइट, एज वी मूव फॉरवर्ड द मंकी एप्स, ग्रेट एप्स एंड ह्यूमन and the brain size relatively increase, social organization become complex and the learning, communication and culture intensity. This is why African great apes humans are considered the peak of the mammalia's intelligence. Source of the history. Historians use various clauses to understand the past, which are the broadly divided into two categories: archaeological, physical remains left behind by the people; inorganic remains, the items like the stone, tools, poetry and coins; and the structural remains, cave paintings, buildings and monuments; organic remains, skeleton, fossil and bone tools, literally written records, oral tradition, the religious texts, scriptures, hymns and religious law, secular texts, poetry, prose, dramas, officially documents and the foreign travelers account. Beginning of the Indian historiography. First one in colonial beginning, later 18th century. Focus: British administrators used philosophy, study of the text/language to understand India for the governance. 1784, Sir William Jones founded the Asiatic Society of the Bengal. 1794, Sir William Jones translated the Manusmriti into English as a Institutes of the Hindu Laws. 1785, Charles Wilkins translated the Bhagavad Gita dialogues of the Krishna and Arjuna into English languages. 1816, Raja Ram Mohan Roy The first English Upanishad translation 1816. 1850 to 1888, the Horace Hyman Wilson introduced the first complete English translation of the Rig Veda. The published in the 6 volumes between the 1850 and 1888. 1889, Max Muller published his The History of the Ancient Sanskrit Literature, where the purpose a chronological framework dating the Vedic age of the approximately 1200 to 1000 BCE. Second, Geological and Archaeological Survey mid 19th century focus shifting from the just literature to the physical evidence, geology and archaeology. A Geological Survey of India GSI 1851, primarily to locate the coal for the railways. James Prince deciphered the Brahminic script, allowing the ancient inscription to be read. The Archaeological Survey of India was the founded 1861 under the Alexander Cunningham to organize survey and the various sites. The impact laid the foundation of the Indian archaeology through the scientific method by providing the concrete date and the verifiable facts, replacing the reliance on the methodology. Third one is the major discoveries late the 19th century, early 13th century, 20th century. Focus systematic scientific excavation, including the prehistory research. Robert Bruce Foote, as a GSI geologist, discovered the India's first conclusive Paleolithics and the stone tool hand axe in the Palawan on May 30, 1863. The discovery placed India on the world's prehistory map, earning him to the title the father of the Indian prehistory. Dayaram Sahni initiated the first major excavation at the Harappa in 1920 to 1921, followed by the MS Watts. The R.D. Banerjee excavated Mohenjo-daro in 1921 to 1922, discovering the seals and the substantial structure and dated to the same period as the Harappa finds. Sir John Marshall, as the Director General of ASI, he oversaw both the project and officially announced the discovery of the ancient Indus Valley civilization to world in 1924. The 1955 Lothal discovered by the S.R. Rao. 1960 Kalibanga B.L. Lal and 1990 Daulavira R.S. Bisp. The method of the dating. The first, the carbon dating C14 dating, used for the anything that was once alive, organic remains, bones, wood, ancient caffeine, and the charcoal and textile. All living things absorb a constant amount of the radioactive type of the carbon called carbon 14 C14 while they are alive. The moment they die, they stop the absorbing new carbon 14 and and C14 begin the decay at a slow but predictable speed. After 5730 years, one half life, the sample will we have only the 50% of the original carbon C14 remaining. After another 5730 years, the total 11,460 years, or two half alive, the sample will be have 25% of the original carbon 14 remaining, half of the 50%. Dendrochronology, the three rings fingerprint, the three ring fingerprints, the prison, the extremely prices exact year, the time frame over the 10,000 years in a same region, uses wood, timber and artifacts. The number of the rings giving the absolute is the thickness slash pattern of the rings, revolving climate slash environmental condition, fingerprints concept, the unique pattern of the rings in a tree creates the barcode or the fingerprints used for the cross referring and the dating. Chronology BC and AD. BC slash BCE, before Christ slash before Common Era. Dates move backward from years 1 large, the number are older. AD slash CE, Anno Domini, in the years of the Lord slash Common Era. Dates move forward from years and the large number are more recent. Division of history, the traditional colonial division of history, Hindu period, Muslim period and British period, often oversimplifies India's diverse past, and the more accurate way to periodize history is the based on the available sources and the cultural evolution. Period, time period, sources and the key characteristics. The pre/early historic period before 3000 BCE, sources क्या है? Only archaeological evidence, tools, fossil cave paintings, not writings. The characteristic hunter-gatherer societies to the start from agriculture, Paleolithic, Mesolithic, Neolithic, Chalcolithic, Megalithic period, the proto-historic period, time period 3000 to 600 BC, archaeology and undeciphered writings. Characteristic example, Indus Valley civilization, Harappa and Mohenjo-daro. Time period, historic period, time period after the 600 BC, deciphered written record, inscription, tax, coins, documented and the dated political, economic and social events become a possible. Example, Ashoka edicts slash Buddhist and Jain literature. Gupta periods. The medieval periods, time period 700 to 17 CE, abundant inscription, chronicles and the Persian taxes. So characteristic, Latin word is equal to Middle Age. Early the medieval regional kingdom, Palas and Cholas, and the later medieval Delhi Sultanate slash Mughals. Modern period after the 1700 CE, colonial records, official archive, prints and materials, archaeological excavation, social reforms, rise of the nationalism and the independence movement. Question: who of the following द फर्स्ट डेसिफर्ड द एडिक्ट्स ऑफ द एम्पेरर अशोका, प्री में पूछा गया 2016 में। जेम्स प्रिंस डेसिफर्ड द ब्राह्मणी स्क्रिप्ट यूज्ड इन द अशोका एडिक्ट्स। चैप्टर 2। जियोलॉजिकल टाइम स्केल। Ion one entire volume, the Precambrian ion, the 4.54 billion years ago, 90% of Earth history, invisible single-celled life bacteria. Phanerozoic ion, the visible complex life current ion, and the era parts of the volume. The Paleozoic era, the age of the ancient life, uh, invertebrate fish, amphibians, first land planets. The Mesozoic era, the age of the reptile, the frogs, turtle, dinosaurs, and extinction. The Cenozoic era, the age of the mammals, the rats, rabbits, and apes, Homo sapiens. The period, a character. Chapter. The tertiary period, mammals, and the quaternary periods, humans. The epoch, a sub-chapter. The Paleocene Ice Age, 2 million years ago. 10,000 years Paleolithic, Holocene, interglacial, the 10,000 years ago, present, and the Mesolithic to modern. The today we are in the Holocene epoch of the Quaternary, the period of the Cenozoic era of the Phanerozoic Eon. Stone Age / prehistory. The Paleolithic age 5 lakh to 10,000 BCE, meaning क्या है? Name is derived from the Greek. Paleo means old plus lithic means stone. How did they live? Subsistence, the hunting gathering. The humans were the nomadic, following animal migration and the seasonal plant cycle. Food, big games hunting, scavenging and gathering, and the seasonal fishing for the survival. Home, lived in the cave and the rock shelters for the protection from predators and the weather. Cognitive thinking and the technology. The crude, unpolished stone tools were the hallmark of the era. These tools were the predominantly made from the hand, and the durable rock called the quarterized. The controlling of the fire was the significant development used for the warmth, cooking, and the protection from the predators. Limitation, where there was no knowledge of the metal, use the no poetry, use poetry, agriculture, and house building. There was no knowledge of the metal, use poetry, agriculture, or house building. How did they socialize? Cave paintings and the petroglyphs at the Bhimbetka. The Golf is a drawing carved directly into a rock surface by the ancient people. Group hunting, band societies, egalitarian, the mother goddess worshipped evidence. uh, बाघोर मध्य प्रदेश साइट है ये एविडेंस ऑफ द मदर गॉडेस वर्शिप्ड सर्कुलर प्लेटफॉर्म विथ द कंसेंट्रिक triangular rocks. What is the evidence site distribution? The factory sites were widespread across the Indian subcontinent, exception being the thick alluvial plain of the Indus and the Ganga rivers, likely due to the dense forestation, lack of the suitable stone materials in those sophisticated area. Paleolithic site in India. Periodization. The lower, middle, and upper Paleolithic period are the primarily divided on the basis of nature of the climatic changes, the advance and the tools of the archaeology. Lower Paleolithic 2 million years ago to 100,000 billions before Common Era, the Paleocene epoch, the characterized by the alternating the glacial and the interglacial periods, Homocene associated with the early hominians like the Homo erectus. The Acheulean tools Actualian tools are the distinctive stone tools, primarily crude large and the tree drops shaped hands and the axe chappers and the cleavers made by the early humans like the Homo erectus during the lower Paleolithic period. Recap. The Paleolithic is lower Paleolithic, middle Paleolithic, upper Paleolithic. लोअर में होमो इरेक्टस आर्कियोलॉजिक acknowledged tools, the axe, chopper, and the cleavers. The middle, later erectors, flag, and the industries, the flag scrapers, and the bones. Upper Homo sapiens, bones, tool, blade, and the beauty industries, needle, harpoons, fires. Key site Atirangpakkam, located in the Kotwaliyar River Valley. In 1.5 million years ago, the Bori, Maharashtra, and the Magarbani, Haryana, the feature rock art too, are the sum of the oldest. The Hosangi Valley, Karnataka, is the Islampur quarry, the oldest non-Paleolithic stone tools quarry sites of the world. The Palvaram, located near the Adyar rivers in the Chennai region, it is the exact spot where the Robert Bruce Foot discovered the first Paleolithic handles in the India 1863. The Didwana, first the third desert Rajasthan, Velan Valley, the culture sequence covering the entire Paleolithic, Mesolithic, and the Neolithic eras. The Kashmir Valley, Pahalgam, and Hirnaya Valley, Gujarat. Belan Valley, UP, and Hirnaya Valley, Gujarat. Middle Paleolithic, 100,000 BCE to 14,000 BCE. The climate and environment transition to the relatively warm, more stable condition. The environment often characterized as the open savannah the likely to associated with the characteristic Homo sapiens or the late Homo erectus tools, the characterized by the flaken industry tool made from the flax and the industry of the core facts and the tools scavengers and the borers. The levalis techniques was the sophisticated method for the controlling the shape and size by the fakes representing the major cognitive leaps. The tool were the smaller and the sharper. The boards and pointers and the scrapers. The site Chirki Nevasa, Maharashtra, Nevasian tool industry discovered by the archaeologist H.D. Sankalia and the Bhimbetka rock shelters MP, Upper Paleolithic site Narmada Valley MP, the wide region including the Hathnor and the Adamgarh. The geologist the Arun Solanki discovered the Narmada man in the 1982. The partial Homo erectus skull cap, the only the authentic the hominian fossil from the India Stone Age, the Odai, Tamil Nadu. This site wild fossilized the Homo species baby skull fragmented, considered the significant finds. The Pashra, Bihar, the Upper Paleolithic 4000 BC to 10,000 BCE climate and the environment. The marked the end of the last ice age Paleocene and the one set of the Holocene. The climate became the warmer and the drier. The Homocene emerged as the dominance of the modern human Homo sapiens tools. Emergence of the bone tools dominated by the blade and the burial industries, and tools were the finer and often used for the composite tools hafted onto bone or the antler. The key location Patne, Maharashtra. The known for the tools, ornaments, ostrich, eggless eggshell beads, and the evidence of the early arts. The Kurnool Cave and the Andhra Pradesh significant evidence of the bone tools. The Muchichatla, Chitna Mani Gavi caves and the potentially used the fire as was the found. The Chapani Mando, Belan Valley, UP, the sequence of the human habitation from the Upper Paleolithic to Mesolithic period. The Bagor, the Son Valley and Madhya Pradesh, known for the stone platform with a triangular stone artifact that are the archaeologists and interpret as the potential shrine to the mother goddess and to Shakti, a belief system till the practiced by the local tribes today. Mesolithic age 10,000 BC to 6,000 BC, meaning a transition period. Meso means middle plus lithic means stone. The Holocene period, gradually global warming lead to the change in the flora and fauna. The site distribution, factory sites are the widespread, especially Rajasthan, Gujarat, central India, eastern India and south of Krishna. राजस्थान में है तिलवारा, बागोर, और गुजरात में है लहंगांस, महाराष्ट्र में है पाटने, हाथेम्बे, द कर्नाटका में क्या आपका है संगाकुलु, एंड आंध्रा में आपका है गौरी गुंडमम, एंड द मध्य प्रदेश में आपका है द पंचमारी एंड द भीमबेटका, एंड उत्तर प्रदेश में आपका दैमाबाद, चौपानी, मांडो। The economy and lifestyle. Hunting and gathering was the primary mode of the subsistence. The shift from the big game hunting to a small animal hunting. The fishing cat, the Sarai Nahar Rai, the Mahadaba, and the Dama in the Uttar Pradesh, the domestication of animal husbandry started. The आदमगढ़, मध्य प्रदेश, अर्लीस्ट एविडेंस, द बागोर, राजस्थान, सीप स्लैश कैटल, द लोटेश्वर स्लैश रत्नापुरम, गुजरात, द डोमेस्टिकेटेड कैटल स्लैश सीप, संगनकुला, कर्नाटका, एविडेंस ऑफ द एसमाउंट कैटल डंग्स, द हट स्ट्रक्चर स्लैश हैबिटेशन, the Tilwara, Rajasthan, circular stone arrangement indicating the habitation structure. The Birbhanpur, West Bengal, the post holes found the suggesting hut structure. The Peshra, Bihar, evidence for the construction of the huts and temporary settlement via the post holes. The Chopani Mando, UP, evidence of the vital and the dub huts and the red impression. The poetry Langas, Gujarat, evidence of the handmade crowd poetry found. The Mirzapur and UP. Microlithic, the small sharp stone tools smaller than 5 centimeters, the geometric shapes and the triangles and the trapezy, the composite tools, the microlithic fixed auto wooden and slash bone tools created weapons like the spears and their arrows. Site, the Bangor, Rajasthan, largest microlithic site, and the Loteswara and Ratnapuram, Gujarat, microlithic found. Human burials, Langas, Gujarat, 14 human burials find, some with the cut marks, and HD Sankalia is the credited with the shift human stone age. The skeleton discovered here. The Daimawad, UP, for the multiple burial finds the include ivory pendant jewelry and the reflect the classes. The Mahaba, the UP, 21 burials find, including the couple burials, distinct habitation and the butchering region. The Sarai Nahar Roy, UP, multiple graves found with the habitation areas noted for the narrow embedded in the skeleton ribs. The pictography and the painting and the portrait and engravings and the carving. The Bhimbetka, Madhya Pradesh, oldest rock art in India. The primarily the pictographs, the discovered by the archaeologist Dr. S. Wakankari in 1957. The UNESCO World Heritage Site, the famous for the prehistoric rocks art and with the over the 700 shelters and the containing the sum of the 500 paintings and depicting the daily lives, hunting and the dancing from the Paleolithic to the medieval period, offering the sites into the early human history. The exhibits the tools cross the lower, middle and upper Paleolithic stage, transitioning to the Mesolithic hunter-gathering life and the Glass the features the extensive the cave paintings in the vibrant red and the white ochre and limes the depicting the daily life animal and the hunting and the scenes from there the Mesolithic period majorly. Sohagita, the Mirzapur rock shelters in 1868, the ACL Charles discovered them, the Adamgarh, Madhya Pradesh, the Lakhudiyar caves, Uttarakhand, and the Vikram Bhol, Sundergarh, Odisha. Neolithic is 7,000 BC to 1000 BC. Neo means Neolithic means stone hues revolution vibration variation. The Neolithic Revolution, term coined by the John Child archaeologist, the polished grounds tools and the agriculture, food production start, the sedentary village life start, use of the poetry, subsistence, food and production. Shift from hunting gathering to the domestication of the farming and creating the food surplus. The key evidence the wheat and barley, the Mehergarh, the Baluchistan, Pakistan, earliest evidence 7000 BC, and the most prominent site with the pre Harappan phase, and the rice Koldiva and the Chopani Mando UP, one of the earliest global site for the cultivated rice, millets and the ragi, the Halur, Karnataka and the Payampalli, Tamil Nadu, cotton Mehergarh, earliest evidence of the cultivation, the settlement sedimentary life, the establishment of the permanent dwelling of the village, key evidence the mud brick houses and Mehergarh rectangular multi-roomed houses and the pit dwelling, the Burj home and the Gulf Karn, Kashmir and the subterranean pit for the warmth, the ash mud, Utnur, Pikili Hall, South India, and shown the importance of the rituals, the cognitive thinking and technology, development of the specialized tools and poetry for agriculture life. Key evidence the polished tool, grounds and polished stone as cells and found the widely example Halur, the Sangankalu, Maski, Brahmagiri. The bone tools, the Chirand, Bihar, famous for the extensive tool made from the antler Burzhom, also featured the bone tools. The poetry, the handmade coarse gray and red ware used for the strong and the cooking example Koldiva, the Gulf card, Sartugaru, the Dhaujali and the handing, the bead making. Social structure, emergence of the craft specialization and the ritual practices. The key evidence, the burials, the Burj home, the unique practices of the burials dogs with the human masters. The Mehergarh burials with the grave goods ornaments tool and the trade the preserve the non-local materials example Turboic cell and the sites like the Mehergarh and the suggesting the early trade networks. The Chalcolithic culture, meaning Chalco means copper tool, the first metal using phase. The copper smelting practices Khetri mines Rajasthan where they primary copper sources. The lithic means stone tools used alongside the copper tool. The Chalcolithic period existed before the parallel and alter Indus Valley civilization. 2600 to 1800 BC mature phases. The supply of copper to make the bronze. Advanced poetry will turn black and the red poetry most the prevalent. The mother goddess image, jewelry, the bead making, semi precious stone, carnelian, estetite, quartz crystal, and the clothing evidence of the spinning, weaving, and the spindle wheel. But they were the still village agriculture and animal husbandry, along with the Kutch, Kutch housing. The distinct culture, regional variation of the wheel thrown poetry and the time period. Key site the Ganeshwar Jodhpur culture 2800 to 2200 BC. Evidence of the copper working center, poetry, the handmade, wheel made, and or colored poetry or orange and red color in with the insides designs. The Har gilded culture Rajasthan 2100 to 1500 BC, located in the Bayanas River Valley. Poetry black and red wares with the white painted design. The Kaitha culture Madhya Pradesh 2000 BC to 18,000 BC. Kaitha is the principal site and situated along the Chambal river and its the tributaries. Poetry red split where there the chalcolate colored design, red painted buff where and their combat where there where with the inside patterns. And the Malwa culture, Madhya Pradesh 1700 to 1200 BC, or the Nadwa Toli, the important site. The poetry thick buff where the with the red and black painted design. The Jorwe culture, Maharashtra 1400 to 1700 BC. The key sites such as the Jarwe Damabad, largest site, and the Nevasa in Pune district, Inam Gaon, are situated along the Bhima river tributary of the Krishna. Inam Gaon in Pune district, Maharashtra, most post Harappan Chalcolithic site. The poetry black on the red ware with their matted surface. The Brahmagiri Maski culture Karnataka, Rangpur and the Prabhas culture Gujarat, the Chirand Bihar major copper hoard, the Gundwar MP 424 coppers object and the 102 silver object. Megalithic culture 1000 BC to 300 BC, meaning mega means large, known for the burial monuments made of large stone megalithic types, the dolmens stone chamber with the capstone, sites, stone coffin like structure, cairns, stone heap, and the menhirs standing stone. The burials included grave goods, weapons, iron tools, poetry, bread, ornaments, suggested belief in the afterlife, hero worshipped, and the grave offering. The practices continued into the Sangam is the spared predominantly in the South India, Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, Madhya Pradesh. Iron is the parallel. Iron tools and weapons, the plug shears, sickles, sword, arrowheads, evidence of the horses, domestication, horse equipments, and the poetry types black and red wear, black wear. Important site Adichala Noor Tamil Nadu, burial ruins with their human skeleton, iron tools, and gold dimension. Halur, the Karnataka early iron tools, black and red ware pottery. The Brahmanagiri, Karnataka early evidence of the iron and the megalithic. The Naga Arjun Konda, Madhya Pradesh megalithic burial plus the Buddhist stupa nearby. Jupani, Maharashtra, stone circles, iron artifacts. Indus Valley Civilization. We read next time. Enough for this chapter, and if you want to this PDF, you can message me, and if my work is good, please subscribe and like also. Thank you very much.